maybe you get like level 2 advantage and they step too far, but it's a very kind of neutral lane out of most lanes. Especially for HellRaisers, they have a little bit of like versatility. This clock could easily be 5, Phoenix can be 5. Like, you don't really know what's happening with HellRaisers, which again is a very specialty draft from them.
HellRaisers managed to pull off great lanes in the previous game. Like, you did not know where they're gonna go with their lanes. Picked a lot of versatile heroes, and same thing's happening here. Even though I'm not a big fan of the clock against the Snapfire, can easily just cookie out, time walk out of the cogs. It's not gonna be that efficient. And now they start betting out those carry matchups. TB, something that plays extremely fast. Marana ban, interesting. Definitely not the ban that I expected to see in the second banning phase.
It's a naive special, I think.
I think, so for the Marana, I think it's mainly for the position 4, because Gilga's hero pool, it's Clock, Tiny, Rubik, and then maybe Marana can be slotted into that 4 position. And I think what HellRaisers are trying to identify right now is if Egg is countered by 4 and 5, it means all the cores on Khan can just be all about like the team. You don't have to think about Egg anymore. So it's just maybe trying to cover this potentially core Phoenix. This could be another indicator. With a 5 clockwork.
Let them try and stop
More team fight and also a good pairing for a melee core. Magnus shows up. Now you have your Empower target. So we've been seeing generally that, well, I guess Void doesn't really build that many Battle Furies, but a lot of...
Thank God.
Yeah, I know, thank God. That's fallen off. But a lot of carries are opting to not go for a more farm-oriented build. Like we're seeing the anti-mage just skip the Battle Fury because they have a Magnus on their team. Do you think that this Faceless Void will also go for more early damage because he knows that he has
you
the cleave?
get Mask of Madness, BKB here, and just keep fighting with the team. This is the build. Like, you don't need any shenanigans. No Mask of Madness. You actually have someone that gives you damage. And this Mask of Madness BKB build is always going to be popular unless somehow they mess up completely the items.
Yeah, and plus with the potential to disassemble, it's always very, very handy to have early on. Omni Knight.
Okay, so they're taking one of the Team Secrets book, huh? Taking Omni Knight into Faceless Void, into Mag. Both of these heroes rely on dealing heavy physical damage, some status resistance, some heals coming out. So that means Clockwork, either 4 or 5. Both of these heroes very versatile. Not too much kill threat on that lane, I would say. If it's Phoenix position 4, paired up with Omni Knight.
HellRaisers don't really actually kill anything
Yeah.
in this game right now.
But they're very hard to kill.
Yeah, they're very very survivable. But for example, if you're Khan, you could easily go for, let's say, like a pos 5 AA, push that snap into 4 mag 3, and now you counter like the sustained survivability on HellRaisers. It does make lanes a bit quirky, and I don't think Gilga plays the Snapfire, but it's potential that they could do.
They have 3 strength heroes. What if you just get Timbersaw here?
I'm not... Okay, right, so basically, Timbersaw feels like a little bit of a trap, you know? It looks like a good Timber game, but then you pick it and go, oh, but now we're missing tower damage, or we're missing that mid-game rush potential, or something to really convert you the win. Sure, you might have that kind of honeymoon period where it goes well, but eventually it's going to go down the drain.
I'll
Go for a Grimstroke.
as I see fit.
I like to have one single target ability that, you know, goes
Wow.
With the Soulbind.
with the Soulbind. I see none here.
HellRaisers
Dagon
lineup.
time.
I'm kind of a little bit concerned for HellRaisers right now. I'm seeing a lot of passive lanes in which the only aggression comes from things already kind of solved by Khan. You know, you have that cookie for the Clockwork, you have the Time Walk, the Skewer, you have a lot of mechanisms to get away from the rotation potential of Clockwork. And then you could argue like, okay, well, Egg Hitters, you already have that covered technically early on from the Grandma Snapfire, but yeah, it's all about, does Drow have a strong lane? She's a scary laner, but is it strong enough to really fix the passive nature of the rest of this lane?
What if it's position 5 Omni Knight?
And then
It's doable. People do it.
is Slacks coaching this team or what? Like,
I mean, they have done Underlord mid in the previous one.
that's true. They could be extremely quirky. And of course, the Omni will be able to basically cover any hero when Void Chronos, you know, just cover it with the ultimate and you're good to go. But the fact that you don't have the BKB.
I know. I'm just brainstorming. Most likely it's going to be Clockwork position 5, considering that they have 1, 2, 3 heroes that can get out of the cogs easily. So Clockwork's not going to have an easy time.
Yeah. And HellRaisers aren't even second pick in this scenario, so they're going to have to reveal basically where all these heroes are going in this next pick. What are they banning out? They're banning out Lena, another egg hitter, which makes me think that... I guess it could just be a position for Phoenix. My biggest fear is what you mentioned, the Omni 5, Clock 4, Phoenix 3. I'm very scared this might happen just because the bans are very, like, egg-orientated.
Possibly, yeah. I want to see some kind of control coming out from HellRaisers. Ember Spirit being banned out, something that builds into any kind of silence item. It's a good Storm Spirit co-op game for HellRaisers. Like, they have no lockdown.
Is this where we see the carry Omni Knight come back into the...
Oh, man.
Get a little...
Yikes.
And then what,
put the
mid-lane
drow
drow?
mid, Omni
Okay.
off lane, you pick up a Mars last pick, and then you just... It sounds absolutely trash, but...
I mean, I like where you guys are going with this, because Omni Knight is just such an infrequently seen hero, it's kind of difficult to justify why you would pick it. I guess in this situation, it's more that we were expecting that a Drow Ranger would come out, and the goal is to make Drow as unkillable as possible. It's just that why go for an Omni Knight as opposed to, like, Banishes, which are the more typical counter to a Faceless Void Chronosphere?
Omni Knight Drow, these two heroes don't move at all. Like, okay, Drow wants to join a team fight, but someone needs to set it up. And right now, I only see Clockwork, who's actually going to be able to move and do stuff on the map. Very passive lineup from HellRaiser so far.
Yeah, and they actually ban out Storm Spirit themselves, so some of the theoretical mobility from their mid laner not really on the table.
This will reveal all right now. It will open up with this final 5th pick from HellRaisers. Where have they put themselves? Which I think, again, this started drafting that they had against these Immortal teams that dropped down didn't really fare well for them. But against these other Divine, it does kind of slot. And they're showing nothing. They pick up a Void Spirit. They've shown... They have 4 heroes that could easily be 3, 4, or 5.
I just hope they don't go with Void Spirit position 5. I really, really dislike it. I just think they're going to go with the standard stuff in this game. A Void Spirit on the mid lane. Possibly shift Drow to the mid against Invoker. That's doable.
I think it's going to be Drow carry, Void mid, with Clock 5, Omni Phoenix offlane duo.
Yeah,
But that aside, flex aside, I think Khan's draft, it's very reminiscent of a Liquid draft we saw this morning, if anyone's still watching from that series. And it's just much nicer to watch. You know, it's a lot more team fight. You're not really scared at any point in the game. You can always defend your high ground. And I can commend HellRaisers for like the quirkiness of their draft, but I think even if they have strong lanes, then they don't have just enough to convert into tier 3s, and they'll eventually just fall flat. So
if we
can't.
Take out the names, just see the draft, I see Khan's draft wins 90% of the time. Maybe I'm having a bad read on Omni Knight, how strong he is. This is not Team Secret, this is HellRaisers, so, you know, we have to lower our expectations, but... Man, Khan's draft looks sick.
No, that's what I heard. I heard if you remove the names from the...
How would I know that it's Khan's draft?
Yeah, like you can, without the names, you can tell.
Okay,
you can
Radiant's
tell.
draft.
Yeah, there you go. So it has to be Khan. I think it applies for tier 2 and tier 3 as well. Like, Khan, all the
Can't
way.
tell the difference.
You just can't tell the difference. It's impossible to tell the difference between these tiers of Dota.
Khan once again leaning in on a teamfight oriented draft, as we did see the odds favoring HellRaisers unsurprisingly after game 1. Let's see if this one will be a little bit easier to execute for them as we jump into game number 2.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Yes, let's jump in indeed, as we're getting to see some exciting lineups once again. We're seeing Khan definitely with another big team fight lineup, right? We're getting the Void, the Magnus, of course, the big finisher there, the Invoker, but that potential of the Cataclysm later on. And then over on the side of HellRaisers, we've got some sort of counter team fight, right? This Omni Knight is coming in. We have seen it been tried before as sort of a way of dealing with the RPs and the Chronospheres. You know, you're outside of it, bam, suddenly GA puts a stop to a lot of the follow-up damage. Do you like it? What do you like out of this gen?
Well, here's the thing. It works against physical damage, right? It works against the Void and the Magnus. But you have Snapfire ult.
Sure,
you have
Snapfire as well,
Cataclysm.
right? Yeah.
Right? You have all of these things to throw in.
And they don't care.
And they don't care.
I mean, there is that much team fight from Khan. Well, we'll see if they got it. Of course, last game, they did have some combos that they just weren't able to really get off the ground. But arguably, I think this time it seems easier on paper, right? You have RP and Chronosphere, and as you say, Snapfire and Invoker, two of the best heroes to just throw in damage from outside of these spells.
So if they can get a silence onto the Void, if they can get some way of disabling this hero, the game could look really awful because this is really banking on the Chronosphere and the RP. I think
Sure, what, you don't hit those in the fights, you think you're just gonna lose the fight?
You're gonna lose the fight.
Yeah.
100%. I think so.
Yeah.
Small skirmishes, HellRaisers, they definitely take the advantage there. They have Clockwork, they have Omni, who's great at sustaining over a long period of time. They have Void Spirit, who can jump the backlines. So it just depends on how the fights play out this game.
Looking at the lane setups, nothing too surprising with how everything started. No one making any sort of less than expected picks.
Yep.
Kasani's in the mid lane.
Standard.
Void Spirit, bottom lane. It's off lane, Funny Omni Knight, supported by King R. A very strong duo off lane there as well. I mean, looking at these lanes, is there a lane that you think a team's going to come out severely on top?
I feel like this Void should do really well against the Omni just because he's got this burst damage, and every single time there's no way to prevent him from just pressing Q on the faceless Void, right? So Void, there's absolutely no kill threat down here, so he can be incredibly aggressive with that Snapfire. I think that should probably be a pretty favorable lane, and Phoenix is not enough of a differentiator to change that fact.
All things fall.
Top lane. The build for Cheshire Cat this game. Would you want to see him getting the mech online, getting some auras, or are you getting the blink on as soon as you can? Oh, naive. So the similar things happening last game. And they're getting that first blood on the safe lane.
So the thing is, like Void has zero fear down here. There's nothing that can kill him. So he can be incredibly aggressive and just fish for those bashes until he gets a kill. But, there's, Dota, you'll lose a lane, you'll win a lane, go even in another one, so sometimes you just got to do damage control.
Looking at the mid lane and Maya, when you do have this Chronosphere in the RP, what is the build-up you go for on the Invoker? Like, do you actually try and go for like this Midas into Ag sort of old school style? He is going Exalt, of course, or do you still try and mix that in with some fast play of a Yules or something else that's going to help you make moves on your own?
So I think you probably want to play fast. You want to get some drums, Yules, like you mentioned, something like that, because your two side laners, it's Void and Mag. Like, these are not fast-paced heroes, right? They don't run around and kill people. They play around their ultimates and they farm. So, oh, he got him with the skewer into the tower.
He did. Gets a very nice angle there, Cheshire Cat, and that'll do it. A couple of tower hits and the Inkswell's done. Very nice catch there with the skewer.
Old skewer, that doesn't work. New skewer with the increased radius, that's how it looked like he was behind him, but he still got the skewer off because of that extra radius. I actually think this hero is such an amazing offlaner, and this hero being Magnus, because the Shockwave is a great disable now, it's a repositioning ability, and then the skewer is insanely good now as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, between the two of them, as we saw there, just having the point and each of them, you're able to set up some very effective plays, especially when you're comboed with something like a Grimstroke, one of these best lane supports that really enable any of these heroes with any sort of movement ability early on.
I actually played with a Rise Magnus in a pub yesterday.
And did ya? That's pretty hype.
And I noticed that he plays a lot more around the skewer than he does the RP.
Yeah.
He's always trying to skewer people together in team fights, even without the RP. He's skewering across the map. He's skewering people out of base. He's calling, okay, I'm going to try to go on this target with skewer. He's using it like a punch hook, basically. And I think it's super viable to do that right now because of the buffs.
Oh, it is, yeah, definitely interesting to watch Rise. One of the best Magnuses from the pubs over the years, and
I think he's the best.
And the way he itemizes, right? I don't know what he necessarily did in your game, but very much it does it a little different to how we see some of the pros do, right? Because he always goes for like the Blink, Force Staff, Shadow Blade. Like, he is all about the positioning rather than, he doesn't seem to be a fan of the I'm going to be the carry myself build. He's all about just making plays as the Magnus.
Yeah, exactly. Just like this, skewer back. Bilger can't get the nuke off. Clockwork's being annoying.
Yeah, Ego's got the Fairy Fire. That last nuke is going to be off the mark. And Miposhka, he may just find Gilliger in return for this. No, Fairy Fire and the movement speed's enough. Turn over towards Cheshire Cat instead. Still not able to push on any further. Bottom lane. HellRaisers will take out Suzuya's Snapfire. A lot of damage between the two of them. And also with that Snapfire out lane, Naive's got to be careful. Seeing on the farm though, all 6 cores able to hit the creeps. Nobody's getting pressured out lane too heavily really in this first 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's not really any super kill-heavy lanes in this game. It's just really the supports that can die. You know, Omni Knight, he's never going to die. He can just heal himself. Void can just jump away from damage. Invoker versus Void Spirit, that's a snooze fest, of course. It's just about last hitting. Like, every lane is just like this. This lane, you have the, you know, tanky frontline guy and then some squishy backliner. Sometimes it be like this. He is going for the drums on Invoker, so he's trying to play fast. I feel like this is necessary given the heroes that he has. Like, if he doesn't play fast, who will?
Bottom. Gonna try and punish Naive here post time walk as King R. I'm swooping in. Suzuya will be able to get them with a nice 2-man cookie. Now they just turn their attention over towards Suzuya, and again with these slows just running him down. Some heavy damage being traded very nicely by HellRaisers as Funnick just walks in and claims the kill. Again, I mean, Funnick had a great game 1, and already seeing here in game 2, he just never misses an opportunity to go. If he sees your HP and knows that he can finish the job, he's going to be chasing you down.
The one scenario where Omni Knight can actually get a kill post-heal nerfs, where you are literally chasing somebody from your own tower to their tower, so you finally get that second heal off by diving their tower. That ability, it used to be so much more devastating. More damage, lower cooldown. That's really the big issue with this hero. If this wasn't an Omni Knight game in terms of him countering the team fights, it's a terrible hero, as Puppy was mentioning in his interview.
See, Kazani came in with a rotation, couldn't quite catch Suzuya though. A quick jump away, Remnant off the mark. Suzuya will be fine.
Leaves the Invoker mid to put out damage on the tower.
Yeah, he's straight to it, Maya. Cleaning out the wave, the Meteor, and yeah, this wave will get a few punches in. Kasani's heading over that, and we'll manage to deep push. We'll see Kasani what sort of build he wants to go for this game, whether it's going to be the standard Orchid Rush. Is there anything that sort of puts him off going for that? Does he need to be scared of anything that Khan are going to be throwing at him early?
You could argue that the Faceless Void time dilation is something you might want to use for.
Yeah.
Or, you know, Yules to dodge Snapfire spells, dodge the Magnus spells or whatever. But I do think the Orchid is great because if you, as we talked about before, if you can jump the Void or jump the Magnus, like these are the only 2 team fighters that are really setting everything up. So if you can jump them with the silence, focus the other, then you win the team fight. So I think Orchid's amazing.
See top lane. I'm going to use the Ink Swell. Cheshire Cat's able to get in range, but he's got to be careful. I mean, Ego's hit 6. He's hitting hard. Cheshire Cat has to skewer away, and now Poshka will try and catch Gilga. Doesn't quite manage to do so, though. The Cogs pushing Gilga away. Couldn't get in range for the trap. But starting to see, I mean, now that 6 is there, this top lane definitely becoming a little bit harder to play into the Drow. Ego's going to have very good control, in particular when Miposhka is there to ensure that Khan can't get on top of the Drow.
Is there anybody to follow this up? Void Spirit is running over. Yeah, Invoker might be dead here. With the setup.
Mayo's trapped in the Cogs. He's in. Does get bounced out to the side with the cookie. But with that Astral Step and the burn at the Sunray, it's surely going to be too much for Mayo. Yeah, Mayo can't deal with this. Suzuya will turn, take down Miposhka. In return, like, getting a kill for Kasani. Rune controls there as well, so Kasani's going to be able to grab an Arcane. And that could certainly set up for another big kill in the future for him when the Invoker's back in. If HellRaisers want to hang around or bring someone over to the mid lane again.
Man, these runes. I feel like there's not a bad rune to get on a Void Spirit or an Ember Spirit or Storm. Like, all the spirits just like all of the runes. Now that the illusions actually purge.
Yeah, that makes all the difference for them.
You can do something with each rune. I think there's no coincidence that now the runes are so close to the mid lane, and then these spirits are super popular as well.
And a Naive. So yeah, still good. Top lane, Cheshire Cat. He's going to look for the opportunity onto Ego. The Sunstrike damage does get split, but they get an excellent skewer into the 2-man Inkswell stun. They'll turn their attention to Miposhka first. Miposhka popping the stick. They didn't actually have enough damage to kill Ego, though, as Ego's now able to turn. They'll lose Miposhka. They're going to find the kills, though, for Ego, as Ego's able to live through the whole attempt, take the 2 of them down in return. As all in all, just a nice bit of a way to start it there from Calm, but HellRaisers, they make the read. Miposhka almost senses that a Sunstrike's going to be inbound, make sure that he tanks it. And if he doesn't tank it there, it probably would have had enough damage to burst the Drow.
Yeah, Map2 100% is carrying this game with the rune control. We saw him with the gank setup on Invoker. The cogs there, keeping the Drow out of the cogs so that she can actually have the ultimate work and do that damage to the Grimstroke. I mean, that was just beautiful. Like, his mechanical play this game and his game sense for where to be in the game has been borderline perfect so far. We'll see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, 1k lead right now. Still a very close opening between the two teams. We'll see the Midas being gone for by Naive once again as the carry. And also for Mayo. So after the drums, going back for the Midas on Invoker, making sure that he's going to be able to scale.
That seems fine. Like, the game is probably going to be relatively easy to delay. It's really just the Drow that pushes towers. He's having a pretty good game, but I mean, Drow is not. Drow's like a 30-minute, 25-minute tower pusher, not early enough that Midas is going to get punished.
Oh, Naive, he wants to get something out of this. He finds the courier. Drow's already out of it. Ego has bailed. Maposhko will be left behind. Sunstrike off the mark, but they didn't need the damage anyway. The three of them will take out the clock. But sort of crisis averted for the most part. Ego getting out of there. Just making sure HellRaisers that the Drow doesn't suffer and Ego can continue to farm. And put some pressure on himself as he moves down bottom, and we'll be able to look to try and find the tier 1 tower trade.
Right, we have it is the typical trade that always happens. You just have the offlaner become so beefy, so strong, it's difficult to play into them. If any rotation comes behind that offlaner, it's just a kill. So the carries just say, screw this is no longer the safe lane, this is the dead lane, as Brian would say. And he, just moved to the enemy carry safe lane. Take the tower.
Yeah, Hudson Wise nearly has his Drag Lance done. Funnick, of course, going straight for the mech. Making sure that, again, just on top of the GA. Once he has a point in it, of course, yet to skill the GA. He's going to have a lot of counterplay to the team fight off Khan.
Mech pipe is really good in this game, like the mech, because you have the pure damage coming out from the Invoker and the Chrono. The only way to deal with pure damage, there's no mitigation for it that you can buy. It's just healing. You just heal through it. So the mech is amazing this game. All-purpose kind of save, and then the pipe, because you have the Snapfire damage, some of Void's damage, most of Invoker's damage, minus the Cataclysm. It's all on the Omni to protect in these team fights this game.
Got him. I'll be able to get the catch here as they dive close to the tower. TP's coming in. Gilga trying to keep himself alive. Cheshire Cat's over and brings back the Void Spirit momentarily with the Shockwave. Gilga is going to finally go down to the Fire Spirits. Kasani, he's got a haste rune, so will manage to easily step himself away. Mid lane, Mayo putting some good damage onto this tier 1 mid. Fortification comes out. He's about 400 gold away from his Midas being complete. Kasani with the remainder of that haste rune is trying to sweep across, but Mayo, he's already started to back off. They won't catch him, and of course, as I say, being as close as he is to the Midas, he's going to be playing very carefully right now. Doesn't want to be caught out by these now sort of early moves from HellRaisers. As they themselves grouping up as 5 around this mid lane, trying to take this early tier 1 tower from Khan. Khan, I mean, they do have Chronosphere, so if they do want to try for something with the Void, there is that potential. I mean, if you're Khan, are you looking to try and get a team fight together early, or are you kind of happy to avoid HellRaisers for the most part and just wait for the farm of the Midas on the Void and the Invoker to kick in?
I think because of the Midas, you don't necessarily want to fight this, although I say that, and they're actually smoked up looking for the Chrono. I mean, if the Chrono's good enough,
yeah.
If they can get the Invoker there with the Meatball right now, he doesn't have Cataclysm, but Meatball does a lot of damage.
They might just drop the Chrono for this. Yeah. Straight in. Sunstrike out. Funnick's trying to step across, but he can't do anything to help out in time, and now he's only put his own life at risk as he steps into the Chrono. The cast range just not there for Funnick, as he couldn't offer anything up to keep Kasani safe, and even if he did, was more than likely that Khan had the damage anyway to burst that Void Spirit. Not really a whole lot that the Omni Knight could do to save him against 5 heroes throwing their full kit on him.
Yeah, I think even if he can get the heal off there, it's not super effective. And, once again, we can just see the Omni nerfs in play. Like, that's a literal example of, in previous patches, he would have been able to get that heal off. He had longer range on that. It was lower cooldown. It did more of a heal. He was way stronger at laning because he had an attack speed debuff as well. Like, this hero can feel really bad. There's a reason it has a 40% win rate. It's really just great against this physical damage. But when you have Snapfire,
Talking about Snapfire there, Kazani. Miposhka straight back out in the map around these 15-minute runes, seeing if they can push back Khan away from here. Get some ward down. See if they can stick around here to grab the 2.
Yeah, good timing to get that kill, like you mentioned, because of the bounties. Get those aggressive bounties. Although, Gilger is in position to grab the aggressive bounties as well in the bot lane.
Top one, Naive. He's not going to try and go on Miposhka himself. There's 3 heroes heading up there. No hook shot, though, so Miposhka not able to turn the threat. And the Yules is now done for Kasani, so some solid setup. And as you mentioned, almost essential against heroes like the Void with that time dilation. Makes it very hard to play in the fights after that initial jump in if you get caught out by the W.
Yep. Choosing to go for kind of the more defensive option. The cool thing about Void Spirit Yules, though, is that it's defensive, but it's also aggressive because it's a great setup for his Aether Remnant. It makes him one of the best pick-off heroes in the game. It's not necessarily going to let him kill a Magnus or a Faceless Void, but it will let him jump them if he can get some assistance in the jump.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, they might get him here.
He's going to try and run, but you're right, Kasani's there, in with the jump, Naive. Time walk up again in a second. It's not going to get the chance for him. Miposhka hook shots in. And they get that Void killed off. So 7-7. Still very close game here. 16 minutes in. And what does that sort of say to you? I mean, you're looking at 2 teams. One does have 2 Midases on them. Does that mean you do worry a bit for HellRaisers or not at all?
I'm definitely worried. I would say Khan, if this game goes for like 10 more minutes and it still looks even, Khan is going to win, 100%. Yeah. But we have the Meteor Hammer up in the Phoenix. We have Drow, this hero. She's hitting a point where she's decent at pushing towers. As long as she has a supporting cast, as long as she has a team around her, she's got the Omni Knight. This is one of the best healers, sustainers in the game. I think they can be aggressive with these towers. And then the Phoenix, like this Meteor Hammer really makes it so that the push is actually there from their lineup.
Yeah. Definitely much more weight on heroes like the Void Spirit and the Clock to make more plays than they did in the last game, though, right? With having Funnick on the Omni Knight as opposed to a Sand King. Like, we saw how much weight Funnick was lifting in the team fights with the Sand King when it came to just initiation.
Yep, 100%.
And control. Now he's on a very different role this time, so they've got to keep things fast with the rest of them. They've got the Yules to cancel the Grimm's TP as Gilger left behind. Does turn with the Soulbind, the Silence, and the Ink Throw. He's going to be able to play around with them for a little bit, but should still fall, especially when Miposhka also heading over, follows up with the Rocket Flare. Make sure the Gilger can't juke in the trees.
It's also hard when that little bug follows you as well, or his dead wife, or whatever the lore is.
Is that what it is?
It's a dead wife.
Oh my
I didn't believe it either, and then Slack showed me the lore. I was very
Is this
disturbed.
Slack's lore, or is this
no,
real lore?
It's in the description, actually, of the spell.
Is
it? It says dead wife.
Oh.
I also did not believe it. I had the exact same reaction. I mean, you know, I could get that. I could get behind that.
Interesting. It's a very spooky hero anyway, Grimstroke.
He's pretty spooky. Why, though? He's a painter. Why does he have to be so spooky?
I know, painters are kind of spooky though, right?
If you could be immortal but be like a banshee, like, wouldn't you do it? I feel like immortality sounds pretty cool.
Wait, someone wasn't using their Midas here. There was that Naive. Gilga. Okay, and that's a solid one. That's another very solid one here. Kasani's down. Funnick's going to get silenced. I mean, again, these are the chronos you need. You couldn't ask for anything more than that. Catch a core and the Omni Knight. That'll do it every time. If Khan continue to pull that off, Naive's able to get those sort of chronos, they're just going to continue to win every team fight.
Yeah, that is literally the dream chrono. Anybody plus the Omni, even just the Omni is enough. But like that guy needs to be caught in every single chrono because he's the only save. I mean, you do have the Phoenix, but the heal, I don't think the Phoenix heal is enough to save from the burst that Khan has. There's too much to throw into the chronosphere.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, these chrono combos are just going to be so explosive as the game goes on. And as you said, itemization-wise, what is there to do about it? I mean, in the late game, right, you can start to maybe think about getting in the Eon Disc.
Eon Disc, yeah, that's always
that's what you're going to need when the Cataclysms start coming online, but
you know,
you got to get there. And they're not cheap, those Eon Discs. They come at they're quite a hefty price.
I'd say the the big price for them is the slot as well. I mean, which of these heroes like wants to build an Eon Disc? I feel like if they go Eon Discs, they.
I mean, the only one
lack
is really
damage.
like Phoenix, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's kind of it.
Maybe Omni.
Ooh, hook shot off the. Oh, they found the Void though. He's got a Manta style. He's out. Naive jumps over. RP is going to get the two of them. He's able to get them into the cogs. He's got them dragged in with a shockwave, pushing them back with a deafening blast. They've taken down Maposhka. They've found Ego. VODs will live with the heal. The Supernova is successful, but they've still got to be careful, HellRaisers. They're popping the GA, but they've got to run with this. Can they really fight with it? Kasani's going to try and jump in. VODs will live, but Kasani, he's got to continue to back up. They're going to see if they can chase here. Time walk. Cookie forward. Can they get in range? They've got the clumsy net. They've got enough bashes. Kasani turns with the Yules. Remnant as well, controlling the Invoker. Naive still continuing to chase further forward. They've got the Cold Snap. The Mortimer's Kiss is coming in as well, but they've been baited up into the high ground. Naive jumping back as the respawns for HellRaisers start to kick in. Naive chasing over towards Mayo, jumps over the side. Gilga, he sweeps in. Ink swells himself. He just offers himself up as a distraction to try and allow the rest of the team to get out, and it works. Does it maybe for Mayo? Ghost walks there. Is there any detection on Kasani on the front? There isn't, so they won't be able to find him. Gilga's sacrifice will save his cause.
Man, that skewer into the cogs, that was so beautiful. That was an enemy cogs too. That's the thing, is if there's a Darkseer, if there's a Magnus, and there's a Clockwork in the game, it doesn't matter what team he's on because you can always use the cogs. It does the same thing to enemies that it does to allies if you're in the middle of them. It's unfortunately allies can't just right-click the cogs once and get out. You have to hit it as many times as an enemy.
Oh, Naive. So he's going to get the one this time, and this time Funnick is able to get in position. We'll see the damage coming out. Kasani's going to get the chance to live. He will. He'll be able to self-fuels up. And now they're going to start losing heroes themselves. The Snapfire will fall. They do still get Kasani, but Cheshire Cat, he's taking big hits from Ego. Naive jumps straight over towards the Drow to take Ego's attention away from Cheshire Cat, and that'll allow Cheshire Cat to run away. Gilga in with the Soulbind. Silence on both Ego and King R. They've killed off another. The Silence pushing back the Void as Ego takes the high ground, turns over towards Cheshire Cat, keeping them at bay, but Naive, he jumps straight back into the Drow Ranger. Ego trying to run, but the bashes are there from Naive. Ego's taken out. Naive moves over towards Funnick. See if they can get more from this. There's only Funnick and King R left alive. Khan hot in the chase. Cold snaps out. King R can't get up to the high ground with the Sunray. The bashes coming out in full force from Naive as Khan take 4 and can now step into the pit themselves. DD also to spawn on cue here at the 22 minutes to make it that easier for them.
Yeah, look at this. That skewer was insane. Once again, just playing around this ability I think is so much better than playing around the RP.
Oh. Use your Midas. Naive.
He's got the DD. He wants the satisfaction.
Use the Midas.
Two hitting
go. I missed the opportunity to drop on the big creep. But that was 2 buybacks coming out from HellRaisers with King R and Ego. They're ready to hold around the pit. They're going to actually start taking it themselves. They know there's no chrono. There is an RP though.
Yeah.
And can't have everyone alive, so you've got to imagine they are going to try and contest this. Kisses start to come out. Jump forward for Naive. He's got that DD. Boom. Meposhka, he's dead. 30 seconds, no clock. There's a bit of a bold attempt from HellRaisers to just walk straight into the pit. Whoa!
Ooh, maybe change those odds a little bit after that.
No.
I don't know about that.
Oh no. Maybe that's not the RP.
Cheshire Cat.
I mean,
what's
what was it?
going
Who was he going for?
I think he was trying to get the Void Spirit. Yeah, just taunt that one off. Taunt that one off.
Yeah. Okay. Now there's no RP. There's no RP. They can still slow them a bit. Soulbind now onto the 2. Not any initial combo. The Supernova coming out. Oh, he's trying to take it out, but they're in. They use him up to stop him from finishing off the egg, protecting King R. Back into the pit. Who's going to get it? They're jumping in for it. It goes down to Radiant and Naive. He's able to find the Cannibals and boom from Mayo. Gets the kills on both the 2 of them. The setup for more. Kasani caught out by the Ixwell stun. Meposhka trapped in his own cogs. He's trying to run. Will break his way out in time. They pop the Aegis on Naive, but he's back for round 2. Meposhka will be chased out as the shockwave from Cheshire Cat cleans him up. They don't need no RP to win these fights here as Khan are able to jump in at the last moment. They get the Roche kill, they get the Aegis, and on top of that, the team fights theirs as well.
See, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, that total clearly mistake was not a mistake. I mean, it was a mistake, right? But the RP legitimately baited them. It baited them to go into the pit.
They wouldn't have committed into the pit like that if Magnus was still holding the RP.
No way. And also the buybacks coming out that they feel like they have to commit into the pit. It's like they don't want to lose this Roche. They spent buybacks for it, right? It was the perfect whiff.
It really was. He couldn't have done it better himself there, Cheshire Cat. He did it, and it worked.
The god.
The next level strats. Scardy, now done for Naive. I mean, we're seeing this Void. He's just so big right now. There's no one close to it in farm on HellRaisers. As Ego and Kasani, they're falling far, far behind. I guess this was always the expectation when you're running against two Midases. You can see it in the levels as well. Level 18 on Naive and the Invoker. There's only level 15 on HellRaisers. At this stage of the game,
Yep.
they're just that far ahead, these cores of Khan. Cheshire Cat, this time, RP's not going to miss. Drops it straight down onto the Drow. I mean, they know right now they don't need to hold these ults for big team fights. If they just keep killing cores here and there, they're going to continue to rule the map. As Mayo and Naive just get further and further ahead in this game.
Yeah, this is looking... Oh, he actually catches the Void Spirit. Does have his Yules.
Got the net. Cheshire Cat gonna come across. Has he got the skewer? Oh, he tried for a TP, but Cold Snap was there. Kasani still able to jump away with a step. Cheshire Cat not quite having any further catch for him, so Kasani, he should live. And they're actually TPing over to this outpost. They're trying to find him, but this is a very slippery hero to catch. As Kasani should be fine. 4-star done for Cheshire Cat. So more ways to jump
They're
around.
still looking for him, though.
He is still hanging around in the trees.
They might have seen that.
Are they gonna find
Yeah, he
him?
saw. He saw the animation, so he's pinging. He's like, he's here.
Oh, and he hunts it down with the Cataclysm. Gets the vision. Kasani's going to jump to the side, but Gilga knows exactly where he is. He's using himself up. Do they have any further catch, though? They've committed this much so far.
Oh, so close.
And no, they got him.
Oh, they got him
with the Tornado. He's jumping out and giving the Dissimulate, but Mayo and Gilga, that's a beautiful hunt. They just hunted him down. Because he's just got to run, Kasani. They found him. Gilga's got him. They hunted him down beautifully in the trees.
Leave him
they're just
alone.
in his head. Kasani, he couldn't catch a break. He couldn't get away.
Every single time he jumped somewhere, they pinged.
They just
They knew where exactly where he went. I don't know if they saw the animation, or if they had the gut feeling, or what. Man, that was nice. Very nice, though.
I mean, just Gilga didn't miss a single spell into the fog there.
No,
he hit every
really didn't.
single one.
I'm telling you, Gilger is a mind reader.
Oh, here we go. Supernova, the cog push back. Do they have the damage? That is the question. And the answer is yes, they do. They may lose some heroes for this, but they don't mind that. That is a big kill. They get the Invoker only at the casualty of the Clockwork.
There's a reason you're
Shockingly, that's the two supports getting that kill. I mean, these are the last two heroes I would expect to get a kill like that, but just the egg bait there and sitting in the trees on Mapashka waiting to knock him back when it looked like he was maybe going to kill the egg or get out. You know, he just didn't allow that to happen. Very nice. I mean, they need a lot more of those to come back into this game, but that's a very good place to start.
Still with this hefty 9k lead, and the combos, they're not even needing to use them right now, really can't to hold on. Just a simple chrono has sufficed with the team being around. Still that big old Aghanims combo with the Cataclysm is what's going to be pretty much uncounterable for HellRaisers right now if they do get caught.
I don't see how Omni has the distance to get the just heals off. Yeah, the thing is, when you're playing against only physical damage in the Chronosphere, it's different, right? Because the Guardian Angel has big range. The heal does not. The W ability does, but it's not really a save from massive burst damage. It's more damage over time. So really, he needs to heal people in the Chrono, but he can't do that. He would need Ether Lens to do that. I would say, obviously, he's not going to get one of those, but he has a Glimmer Cape, so maybe he would get one of those. He's kind of playing as a support at this point.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Oh, there we go. BKB done for the Invoker now as well, so Mayo's always going to get his spells off, no matter if he gets caught by a stray silence from the Gurstle. The Void Spirit down the line.
Yeah, he definitely survives that bottom engagement with the Clock and the Phoenix if he has a BKB.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of damage, but then he BKBs at the end and he just walks away. And Knave is just huge in this game.
Yeah, HellRaisers are
Scanning.
I mean, who do you sort of fall back on the shoulders of? It is this Drow, but Drow just doesn't have the farm this game.
Not a hero that plays from behind. Really not a hero that plays well from behind. She has no way to farm, is the problem.
Maya hunting down Funnick here with a Ghost Walk. Funnick, oh, this time they won't get the read on him. He's off. And he has got a TP if he wants to go straight out for this. Still looking for him.
Wow, he's actually going to try to cut the next wave. He's so greedy. Funnick, no. Don't do it. Oh, he's just in the same spot.
I mean, he's beefy. Like, it's going to take quite a bit from these two heroes to kill him. They're going to bring in some backup. Yeah, Knives on his way over. He wants to get involved in the fun. And he certainly will be able to do so there. Funnick beaten down very, very quickly here by Naive with the farm that the Void has over towards mid. Talking about another Void, Kasani gets the catch in onto Suzuya. Set up for Ego to find that. But you can see straight away Khan, they're coming over towards the mid lane. They know they can push in now with no threat of the Omni Knight being able to save anybody. And they've still got their ults ready to go.
Yep.
Got the full combo and they'll start using it right now. Oh, not quite the combo there, but it doesn't matter. Who cares if you dragged him out of the Cataclysm? He's dead anyway.
One of those unfortunate situations where Shockwave is too good of an ability. The fact that it pulls by so much.
Dire structures are fortified.
There we go, up to high ground now. Fortification coming out. 40 seconds without the Kasani Void Spirit. So again, extra room for Khan to just take at least one set of racks here, maybe more. This is going to be very hard for HellRaisers to defend. As they still have that Chronosphere knife.
You can just jump the Omni at this point. I mean, then again, I feel like you can jump anybody. Like, the Omni's not doing anything to save people from the combos that they have.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Go mid-rack, Scott. They want to try and push for a second. They'll keep it chill. They'll back off. Kasani's up in 5. I think Khan, no, you know, they are in what seems to be a very comfortable position right now in this game. They don't want to slip this one up. And they're under no pressure at all. They're the team with 2 Midases. Up against a Drow with a Hurricane Pike and a Yasha at 31 minutes. You know, Ego's farm just is nowhere near being able to cut it against the progression that the 2 cores, at least of Khan, have.
Sometimes you have these late game scenarios where there's a hero that's a great rapier carrier, you have some farming potential on one here like a Magnus, and it's like, okay, well, if they go late enough, they can win. But I don't think this gets any better unless Khan massively throws the game.
Oh, Kasani should go down here. Can he jump away from this? Not going to get the chance to. Cold Snap and the bashes. So much lockdown. And just stops the Void Spirit from being able to get even his shortest of cast animations off. Everything's just ground to a halt.
That Void Ags really makes the hero... I honestly think that's like the #1 reason Void is such a strong hero. Is the Ags makes him not just a Chronosphere in the late game.
Oh, and we see these Chronos. I mean, again, Naive, he's just been hitting some... He's just making it look easy. Making it look easy. You want a core and an Omni Knight? I'll get you a core and an Omni Knight every single time. At least 3 or 4 times this game he's done that. Always getting the 2 of them caught together. And yeah, they're making this game too look easy. I mean, they go for these 2 Midases, not punished in any sort of fashion. And it is just very hard to see how Khan can lose at this stage.
Oh, they do get the Phoenix combo, but there's a 0.5 second interval, so we're fine. We just press BKB. I think that's safe. Man, one of the more I know that I'm dead moments in Dota is when you're chronoed in the cat. You just hear the pew. It's like, all right,
it's game
good
over
stuff, guys. You did it. You pressed Cataclysm on me. Fan, goddamn tastic. It's traumatizing.
Just double tap D, you know, or F. That's what we got to do, right? That's the life of the late game Invoker here with the Ags build. Yeah, but of course Mario, he's been doing so much more than that this game. Top high ground, Naive He's just going to start beating into them. They walk into him. Ego, he needs help. They've got to help this Drow. They'll turn with the Silence and the Remnant onto the Void. Naive falling low, but he's able to put the man to jump to the side. The Chrono comes out, but the Supernova's there in response. The Cataclysm in play, but it will fall. The Supernova's going to be successful, though, as they're trying to back away here, Khan. They didn't quite get enough kills in that initial RP with the counterplay of the egg. Cheshire Cat will fall, but Naive, he's ready to come back in for the cleanup now, or is he? Gets pushed to the side. Ego going to be the new focus from Mayo and Gilger as they run down the Drow. Ego's got the speed to get up to the high ground. Buybacks coming out in order to keep Ego safe. King R steps to the side, won't be held down by Suzuya. They turn, the Remnant pull on Mayo. Mayo, he puts the BKB, but it's not enough to save him. Mayo's going to go down, and now it's Khan that has to retreat. These buybacks from HellRaisers forcing Khan to run away as Suzuya won't escape. Neither will Gilger by the looks of it. He's got a Glimmer Cape to buy him some time. Is it enough to get him out of reach of Ego? They've found him. It's not. Gilger also going down. So HellRaisers with a strong kickback. Also, by the looks of it, able to go for the Roche pit. Buybacks are there for Khan, and they're coming out. There's no way they're going to let HellRaisers get away with that Roshan.
It does cost them. The biggest cost, I would say, here is not the gold. It's the fact that now there's a win condition. You kill any of these heroes, you have this potential to take Roche or push high ground. There's not the greatest tower sieging coming out from HellRaisers, but, you know, it's late game. Anything can happen. You can build anything on Drow. You can definitely win the game if you kill one of these heroes.
I mean, I think Khan, as soon as that Invoker's up, they'll just be going for Roche themselves. Maybe even before. Naive just does the Roche so quickly. You see 94% on the win probability for Khan right now, and you can definitely feel it. The buybacks do put them at a little bit of a vulnerability, but still at the end of the day, they're not the big buybacks from the Void or the Invoker, and you could argue at this stage, even if all four of them die, as long as Naive has buyback and a Chrono, he can probably hold back HellRaisers from a high ground defense. So
right, the team fight is basically Invoker Void at this point. Like that's all you need, and you can 1v5 or 2v5, I should say. Really, it's one. It's the Void. He's got a Invoker just double taps a button.
There we go. Smoke up from Khan. Oh no, not sorry. Sorry, it wasn't smoke. I thought I did see one, but no, that isn't the case. Smoke up from HellRaisers, in fact, as they're going to start moving towards the pit again for themselves. I mean, it's never going to be an easy fight when you're down 17k and against superior team fight tools. They were able to kick back, as we saw though in that previous engagement, did require them themselves to come in with buybacks. Can't. They're getting closer to thinking about just walking into the Roche pit. Octarine done on Mayo, so that increased uptime and availability of the big old Cataclysm. It's going to be there.
That's such a good late game item now too, the Octarine, because it gives you magic resist now, just out of nowhere. You just get it. It's great. Cheap item too. They've reduced the cost of it as well. Octarine is definitely a very viable late game item. It's a big reason I think Shrek, Invoker, like these heroes are really strong in the late game. Going for the Eon Disc now, as we talked about.
It's always going to come here at this stage. I mean, you've got enough to play with, right? Your game's obviously taken a big hit as you've fallen behind, but your Zags, you're still able to have a good impact in the fights.
And he's doing the trick too. He's locking one of the components, so that way he can allow it to assemble itself in a fight when he needs it. You can only do it once, but at this point, one fight could make or break the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. With the state of the buybacks, as you can see, nobody actually right now, even the Void and the Invoker, not even Mio, they don't have the money.
More importantly, I should say, the next fight will determine the game, period. Because of all the buybacks, and then because of the Roche.
And the Roche. And that is that the second or the third Roche this game? This is the second, I think, only, right?
I think it's the second, but I will literally be playing in the game and I'll forget. It's so much happens in Dota. Okay,
it's the second, I mean, is there a reason why Khan's being so careful right now? Like, they could just go for Roche, surely. Like, they do it very quickly with Naive.
It's a buybacks. Like, they don't want to risk it. There's really great Roche fight from HellRaisers. You have the Phoenix, you have Clockwork.
But look how quick they are. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. They just do it so quickly.
This is true, but you go for the steal with Clockwork.
Yeah, but is he going to be able to find him? Maposhka? Oh, maybe. No, he's going for it, but the Chrono's going to be used. Naive make sure it's secured. There's the assembling of the Eon disc, and it's actually going to keep Kasani alive. Will allow him to play on, jump out, the Supernova comes out, but they're focusing the egg. The egg looks like it is going to be left alone though, so the egg successful. The stun catches onto Naive. Kasani trying to hold Gilga off to the side. RP gets laid down just onto the Drow, but it's enough lockdown on Ego to allow Void to start beating away. Ego does push back the Void with the Gust. Ego trying to turn with a multi-shot. Another silence comes into play as Funnick continues to try and keep Ego alive. They're getting Ego up to the high ground. Eon Disc from Funnick buys him some safety for now, but Ego still focused by the Void. Will fall, or will he gets another Hurricane Pike out? He's still living, but the Time Walk from Naive allows him to close the gap. They take out the Drow. Kasani in the river, dumps away with the Astral Step, turns with the Yules. He will be able to live, so all things said and done. Oh, the cookie! Oh, the cookie! The cookie comes in clutch. Kasani, he's still jumping away. Oh, they found him when he was hiding up here last
Oh
time.
God, not this again!
Oh, damn!
No!
Oh, Mayo! Oh, Mayo, goodness. That's the Sunstrike. They just call it off the back of that one. that's the GG
That's
Sunstrike.
it.
Damn, that's it right there.
Never go to that corner of the map again. It does not end well.
My
Oh,
goodness,
boy.
I mean, that's one way to end the game.